In our Year 7 Design Technology class, we have been creating our computer game. We choose Palm as the starting point for our game, and from there have been making our own variation from this classic game. Making the ball move and bouncing around was pretty simple. So after that, we had to get our player to be able to move so that it could hit the ball as it come toward us. This is a drag and drop style code that we use to do that.
We also had to create some code to control the second pedal. We made our game so that the second player could be played by either another person or AI. So we had to create some cool sprited code to control the AI players so that they would automatically try and hit the ball too, all by themselves.
This is the code that we came up with. By just changing this one variable here, we can determine how clever the AI will be. So once we had the basic of the Pong game, we started to add our variations. We wanted power-ups that changed how the game worked, so we needed a way to get this. We decided we needed a shop.
To get power-ups from the shop, we created a way to collect randomly generated money. This is the drag and drop code that we used to create a money spawner. Once we collected the money, we needed to know how much we had to spend, so we created a new variable called global.money. This is the scripted code that we developed to keep track of not only our money, but all our other scores. It took us quite a while and lots of thinking to create all this code.
Then we created our actual power-up features. We all wanted to be able to make our paddle grow in size, so we created the code to be able to do that. This is the first part of the code, and this is the second part. We also built in a cheat to our game so that we could test this feature. It was fun to be able to give ourselves unlimited money.
And finally, we enhanced the look of our game by adding in all of our special made art and graphics. Some of us choose to make our game set in space. Some had an ice cream theme, and others a diamond or soccer theme. Our games are almost finished, and now we are just learning how to create our own music and sound effects to go into the game.
In our Year 9 Design and Technology class, we have been creating animate 3D digital character ready for using an anime movie or computer game. We have been creating a biped, which means a character that walks on two legs. Our characters are based on our own designs that we come up with earlier. To create our animate character, firstly we had to create the 3D mesh. We start with torso, then add arms, legs, heads, and feet. Then we create the head. By making our character symmetrical, we only had to make half of our model. and the mirror made the another half.
Finally, we attached and welded everything together. With our completed mesh, we then learned how to animate it. To do this, we needed a skeleton which we would connect all of the parts of our 3D mesh to. We added the skeleton, then scaled and positioned all the bones so they fit inside the mesh correctly. Then we added a modifier to our mesh called Physique, which enabled us to rig our mesh to the skeleton. One vertex at a time, we checked that they were all assigned to the correct part of the skeleton. Sometimes we had problems, where the parts of our model were attached to the wrong part of the skeleton. This meant our animations were all messed up.
Once all the vertices were linked to the correct parts of skeleton, we were able to apply an animation. We used a set of motion capture animations to test our models. We were able to make our models dance, jump, and do backflips. With our rigged models, we finally started to add a texture to them so that they look like a proper animated character, instead of just a bunch of lines, edges, and polygons. To this, we needed to unwrap our 3D mesh and lay it out flat as a 2D picture. This involved having to cut up our model along edges, much the same way we have seams in our clothes. This let us squash our model out flat, and once we rendered this flattened model into 2D image, we were able to paint out texture on it, which we could assign to our model.
With our completed animate and textured models, we were ready to print them into a movie or game. Our finished models were now able to run around in virtual 3D environment. We have learned how to create animated bipeds that could be used in movies like The Incredibles or in games like Unreal Tournament. Our 3D printer has also arrived, and we have been assembling it so that we can print our models. We will learn how to make our 3D models so that they can print using a 3D printer. Who knows what else we will able to print in the future.